Well, let's hop in. We are here for game number 1 of this best of 3. Spawning in the lower left-hand corner of Solaris, we have Storm Gaming's MaxPax, master of PvP, and see how he does against the Terran. His opponent in the upper right-hand corner, one of the strongest Terrans in the world. It is ByuN for the Shopify Rebellion. Now, MaxPax regularly plays against Clem. Those matches tend to be pretty back and forth, though. I feel like there's been a lot of each player winning. But MaxPax's PvT it's incredibly strong. I mean, in general, he is just such a good player. He has a very specific way of playing that not a lot of other Protosses can replicate. He knows a lot of those intricate details of the match that make his early game really, really annoying to deal with. And that, I feel like, really encapsulates MaxPax's play. He's very annoying. He does all of the things that are the most annoying. And they're annoying because they're good, right? And it's funny because I feel like he's, changed the way a lot of other people play this game. But he's very, very strong, and he's only gotten better. I remember when he first started playing in tournaments and stuff, he was really good, but there was a lot of cannon rushes. There was a lot of, again, that annoying early game play where he's proxying the gateway and stuff, the MaxPax classic build. But he started getting better and better. His mechanics got stronger and stronger. And these days, his micro, he has some of the best Protoss micro with Blink Stalkers and Warp Prisms in the world. Like, it's crazy how good his micro has gotten in the last probably year and a half, 2 years. And now, I mean, at this point, he is indisputed as one of the best players in the world. I would argue that he's the best Protoss in the world. And I feel like a big part of that is the last series we watched, I feel like, shows a strength he has that I don't think any other Protoss player has, which is that ability to hold on 2 bases against a 1-base Protoss. The PvP expertise that he has. There's a lot of Protoss players out there, but for the most part, when it comes to PvP, most Protoss players go pretty even with other Protosses. They have like a 50% win rate. We'll see, maybe not the strongest Protoss players win in PvPs against players who are generally stronger than them. Nightmare, all the time, beats Classic and Hero and Creator in PvP. Generally, I wouldn't put him at the same level as them. But in PvP, they're pretty much all even. But not MaxPax. He just doesn't... Feels like he doesn't lose that matchup. I don't know. I want to know what his win rate in that matchup is. It's probably not as good as I imagined it is, but that to me separates him a lot from the other Protosses. But of course, he's very strong in this matchup as well, and his main strength is going to be Blink Stalkers. We're seeing so far a 3-gate Robo out of him, or a 3-gate Blink rather. He does have that Robo for the Warp Prism. But he's going to be getting aggressive on ByuN. ByuN, though, is going to try to hit before any of that is ready. He's got this Medevac. He's got these Hellions. The Hellions come back to fight and kill this Adept, who's going to grab a couple of kills before dying. But I think the Medevac was spotted. So as ByuN tries to boost in, he sees the Stalkers and backs up. Good defense from MaxPax. Oh, and MaxPax is full walled with the Gateway. I mean, his Stalkers can just blink out, but that's going to be a 4-gate blink play out of him. And ByuN needs to spot this out because he has not scouted at all. He actually hasn't scouted anything. He's going to go for the triple Hellion drop in the back of the mineral line, maybe hoping to catch MaxPax as he leaves. MaxPax cancels the 4th gate that was in the wall. I love how patient ByuN is being with these Hellions. If he waits a little bit longer, MaxPax might just peace out. And it looks like MaxPax is going to take a 3rd base. ByuN getting up a siege tank right now, trying to get some defenses up against the Blink Stalkers. But most of the Stalkers have stayed home. MaxPax is not committing to this very much at all. It's just going to be 4 Stalkers harassing in the main base. That's the nice thing about the 3-gate play is you can pick and choose how aggressive you want to be with this. And it's just going to be a few Stalkers in the main, killing SCVs. Gets 5 of them. And the Hellions drop in. ByuN not watching for a second here. Just targeting down that pylon, and that's unfortunate because he's not going to get that much damage. 2 probes going down for those 3 Hellions. Better than nothing, I guess, but the Stalkers are still getting damage on this side of the map, as the SCVs don't have that much to defend them. The Marines come out, and the Stalkers are even like, yeah, actually, we can kill some of those too, sure. The tank here can help zone out the Stalkers. The MaxPax is still going to drop out, try to get 1 more worker. I did see, what, 4 probes go down? I don't know what happened over here. But ByuN has decided to push out. He says, screw it. You've gotten some worker damage. But all you have is Blink Stalkers. I'm just going to push forward. These are stimless Marines without medevacs. And a couple of siege tanks here. He's just trying to counter push and get damage done. But MaxPax is picking off so many Marines on this walk across the map. The Marine count is down to 19, 20. There's 15 Stalkers out. Oh, the Blink on top of the tanks. Is there enough DPS here for MaxPax to lose some of these Stalkers? He gets both of the tanks. Another tank does show up. Oh, ByuN's going to pull back. He wants to wait for MaxPax to try to Blink on top of him again. Stalker count still at 14. I don't think ByuN can continue this push, and that's a big problem. Because he doesn't have anything behind this, man. He is, oh no, and 6 out of 3 on gas. ByuN needs to spot that. This is a huge waste of mining right here. 3 SCVs just doing absolutely nothing. And MaxPax, charge is ready. He's going to get some charge lots into the main base where ByuN has absolutely nothing to defend. And this is going to be a real problem for ByuN, who's trying to move out once again. But the Stimless Marines are just getting poked and prodded over and over again. As the Zealots get into the base, start doing some SCV damage. The Marines trying to push up this ramp. The SCVs are on their way. The tanks are going to siege up, but it just doesn't matter. GG. MaxPax holds in game number 1, does some counter damage, and the counter damage is just too much. ByuN in a terrible position. Didn't have much of a choice. Oh man, MaxPax is so good. It's actually insane. We don't know how he'll perform under pressure in an offline event. If we ever will, I wonder how he will do. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. I understand his hesitance to go to an offline event. I know I feel like he's talked about it a little bit. He's been on some streams. He has a voice. We've heard his voice. But I just don't think he's comfortable being like in front of a crowd, being on stage. I don't think he's comfortable doing that, and I think that's why he's not going to go to events. I hope at some point we can convince him to at least try, even if it's like just go to a home story cup, hang out in the crowd. You don't have to tell anybody who you are. Just get the vibe of being at a live StarCraft event. Something like that. I feel like I could see him starting off at a smaller LAN or something. But I don't know. I mean, there's a chance that we just never see him at an offline event. And it would suck. And I think I've talked about this before. A big part of the reason that we feel Protoss is kind of in a bad spot in the pro scene right now is because, in my opinion, the best Protoss in the world doesn't participate in all the biggest events. And that is, it's a problem. That's a problem. I don't love it. As much as I love his play, I wish we could see him at one of those big offline events. I think he would do better than he expects. Anyways, game number 2. He's already up 1-0 against one of the best Terrans in the world. It is MaxPax, upper left-hand corner of Oceanborn. His opponent in the lower right is none other than ByuN. We do love ByuN. ByuN is one of our favorites. MaxPax trying to get a kill here. We saw Heroes Probe get 2 SCV kills in a match earlier today. I don't think ByuN's going to let that happen, though. He's trying to keep this SCV safe, and it will get back home. And the probe will have to leave. Delayed the racks a little bit. MaxPax, a professional at being annoying with the first probe. You know what is sad, though? MaxPax used to cannon rush. And I'm sad we don't have more cannon rushing. I know that's probably not the most popular opinion. Might be what you consider a hot take. But I wish there was more cannon rushing. At least in pro matches. You still hit it on the ladder all the time, sure. But in pro matches, it's pretty much gone. Because of a lot of the map changes, there are specific design features on maps to make it harder to cannon rush, to make it worse. Shield batteries being nerfed outside of the base also really hurt the follow-ups to cannon rushes. I just wish we saw more of them. I wish we had more players that would pull out cannon rushes. I think there's still a place for them in certain matchups, in certain situations, but I don't know. We don't see them anymore, and it's kind of sad to me. It's like a whole way of playstyle that's been around since 1998 that we've just kind of disregarded, at least at the pro level. I'm hoping if SOS starts to get back into his form that he wants to be at, and he's been looking pretty strong lately. Been getting there. He played in the KSL this past weekend, and I heard those games were good. I didn't get to see them, though. That maybe if he gets back up there, we'll start to see some more cannon rushes. But you know what we do get here from MaxPax is the Dark Shrine. That's like the next best thing. You must have seen Dave Testa in the lobby, and he was like, "Ooh, I have an idea. I have a plan. It's time. It's time to Dark Shrine." Now, I will say, ByuN is usually very good at dealing with DTs, but there's never any guarantees here. If that Sply Depot bursts out, I swear to God. All right. ByuN heals it back up, no problem. He's going to go for the double Widow Mine drop. Let's see what's back on MaxPax's side of the map in terms of units. It's none, because he's going for Dark Shrine. So he's putting all of his money into that tech and just pressing with the 2 Adepts. He's got the Prism about to pop. That's it. And that means his medevac is going to boost right on in. A little early on that boost, but it will be able to drop that first Widow Mine back out. Oh, decides to pull it back up into the medevac. But now the 2 Stalkers warp in. ByuN's going to at least try to get some damage done here. God, I love this. Should have the boost available on the medevac again, too, so he can get it out of here. Just trying to be as annoying as possible. He's going to scout the Dark Shrine in the main base. So now he knows he's up against the Dark Shrine. And he's going to be able to get a Raven on the way. Oh, no, the Cyclone. Going to get the lock on with the Viking. And I can't believe that's going to be a dead War Prism. Does that live? No. The Prism lives. DT comes in, gets a couple of kills. It's going to have to leave as the army gets here. There's a Raven about to pop. I can't believe the Prism lived and got out of there. 3 probes went down, so both players losing a couple of workers here, and there's still a Widow Mine available. The one down here got killed. And I think ByuN's just going to go for a push. He's about to have a Raven. He's got the Viking back at home to try to deal with this War Prism. And it looks like MaxPax is going to go for an Archon drop follow-up, but he's going to need those Archons back at home, I think. He doesn't really have anything back at home. Let's take a look at the units right now. It's going to be 2 Archons, 2 Adepts, and 2 Stalkers. That is his army back at home. And ByuN is here. These Archons need to get back. There is a recall available, and I think MaxPax needs to use it to try to get this Prism and these Adepts back. He could try to hit in the flank, too, which seems to be his plan for right now. The Siege Tank, maybe a little bit vulnerable. Yeah, some Stalkers on the backside. MaxPax is going to try to hit this in a surround. He's just going to give up the 3rd. But as soon as it's about to go down, he's going to come in and try to kill this tank. He's going to get the tank, no problem. The Bio is going to push forward on the left-hand side. Oh, but can he stand up against these Archons? The answer is no. Down goes the Cyclone. Down goes every single Marine. ByuN loses his whole army. He does kill a decent amount of MaxPax's army, though. The army supply ends up pretty much similar. Resources lost, very similar. ByuN, the American that he is, with 1776 resources lost. The problem is there's no third command center for ByuN, so he didn't kill the base. And now it feels like he should probably have killed the base if he was going to lose all those units anyways. But MaxPax has Blink now. ByuN just doesn't have anything back at home, man. The Raven's going to get targeted down here. The Marines go down. A couple of auto turrets going to buy a little bit of time, but they die so quickly. There are 2 siege tanks out here, but the Stalkers just leave. And this is becoming a big problem right now for ByuN. The tank siege is up too close to that Immortal, and down it goes. And I think MaxPax is just going to have too much. There's no Raven anymore. This DT is just getting kills here. It gets scanned. But even with that, the Archon and the Immortal are both very low. The Stalker's trying to blink away. 26 SCVs have died. Even if ByuN somehow kills all of the rest of this army, it's just not going to matter. Oh my god, that Prism. Woo, that Prism is so low. But I still just think it doesn't matter. Something's killing probes over here, but whatever that something was just exploded. And now MaxPax has double the worker count of ByuN. ByuN's got mules. If he had a third CC, I could believe. There's no third CC. It's not triple mule production and triple SCV production. He's going to be struggling to keep up economically with the Protoss. MaxPax is just taking a huge lead. Huge lead. ByuN's trying to get into 5 barracks here. He just doesn't have the economy for it. He doesn't have enough income to support 5 racks worth of production. Maybe if he can get a decent army out, he's got that +1 finished up. But MaxPax has 5 gateways on the way. I assume charge is done. He's going to have a very huge gateway army on this big economy he has. Temple Archive so he can make some Archons the more cost-efficient way. I think it's going to be hard for MaxPax to break ByuN. I don't think it's impossible, though. Not with charge lots. He still has that Archon and that Immortal. He's going to dive in. The Zealot's tanking the tank shots. That doesn't really do much damage to them. Stim is not done yet. Combat Shields is not done yet. ByuN pushes this away. But again, just losing so much. Look at MaxPax's bank. He's just going to warp in a huge round of Zealots. He could warp in a couple of Archons here in a second. He's got a 4th base almost done. And ByuN is on 2. ByuN finally up to 40 workers. His economy is finally okay. He's going to push out. The Stalker's just trying to pick off a couple units on the way out of the base. ByuN has 1-1. This is a big deal. ByuN having 1-1 right now is a big deal. I can't believe he's just zoning here. I feel like he needs to move out. Maybe he's expecting MaxPax to try to push back up this ramp. He's going to try to push through the middle of the map. The longer this takes, though, the better it is. And even a medevac snipe, though. Better it is for MaxPax, who's got units back at home. He's got Storm on the way, and these High Templar gathering energy. If he can have a Storm in time, that's going to help him. ByuN's pulling the boys, though. This is ByuN's one shot, one opportunity. Can he make it happen? There's the big stim. Not a lot of healing energy here. One tank goes down. The super shield battery is on. Oh my god, the Storm is insane. I think that's the only Storm that's going to land, but that should be enough for the Zealots and Stalkers to pick the rest of these Marines apart. ByuN is ahead in army supply. He still has the 2 tanks here. His base is very low. At the same time, 18 SCVs went down on the other side of the map. ByuN, he's got nothing in the natural. There's a DT here. The charge lot's diving forward. I think it's going to be enough for MaxPax. He's got a handful of Marines left. Does he have a scan? He's just going to pick up and get out of there. He doesn't kill the 3rd base. The natural is devoid of workers. ByuN cleaned up whatever Zealots were here. I think there was only 1 or 2 that killed the rest of the SCVs in the natural that didn't get pulled. ByuN's economy is basically nothing. MaxPax is on 4 bases and 50 probes. He's just going to be able to remake units so much quicker. And Charge Lot Archon is just going to beat this army. ByuN, the 1-1 really helping him here. That first storm was brutal. The fact that he was able to kill the rest of the High Templar, because there's none left on the map, is fantastic. The DT is heading across to the other side to kill all of these SCVs. ByuN's going to go in. He's got one more shot. Can he push through? The Archons are so good if they can get on top of the Marines. One Archon's going to pop. The second one gets lifted up. And I think it's just going to be enough for MaxPax to overrun ByuN. And there's the GG. MaxPax taking the 2-0 victory over ByuN. I don't know how he does it, man. I don't know how he is so good. It feels impossible.